down at Kennedy Space Center, and then back here in Hawthorne this week for some sims.
This spacesuit that I got fitted for about 7 months ago, I actually get to see and try on and do a bunch of maneuvers in to make sure that it's comfortable and that I can move. And I am just so excited for this because, I mean, this is the spacesuit I'm gonna wear leaving the planet.
I'm just so honored and thankful and grateful to be a part of this historic mission and a part of the SpaceX team.
Y'all are working so hard to get to Mars and beyond. We want to provide great data, and we're really excited to be part of this.
All right, well, thanks everybody for a fantastic time here in Hawthorne, and also down at Kennedy. We've been doing training down there as well, so really appreciate everything you guys been doing.
This is my final call here from SpaceX, so Rook signing off.
Please begin the comm check with the crew.
Dragon, GNC on countdown 1, comm check.
Dragon has you loud and clear, GNC, how many?
GNC loud and clear, stand by for comm check by propulsion.
And what you're hearing right now, comm checks.
Dragon, prop on countdown, comm check.
Between Dragon and the Falcon 9 launch team in firing room 4.
Prop, how many?
Prop, loud and clear, Godspeed, have a good flight today. Stand by for comm check with the avionics engineer.
Dragon and avionics on countdown 1, comm check.
Dragon has you loud and clear, avionics, how many?
Avionics loud and clear, stand by for the comm check by the ground segment engineer.
Say that again.
Dragon, ground segment on countdown 1, comm check.
Dragon has you loud and clear, ground segment, how many?
Ground segment, loud and clear. Stand by for comm check by launch control.
Dragon, launch control on countdown 1, comm check.
Dragon has you loud and clear, launch control, how many?
Launch control, loud and clear. Stand by for comm check by the chief engineer.
Dragon, chief engineer on countdown 1, comm check.
Dragon has you loud and clear, first, how many?
Have you loud and clear. Have a great flight. This completes our comm check.
Just inside T-minus 1 hour and 43 minutes. We've heard the comm checks between the Inspiration 4 crew up in the Dragon capsule, up at the very top on the picture at the left, behind where the crew access arm is. That's where Dragon is with the crew right now. They're talking to the Falcon 9 launch team, located in firing room 4, just a few miles just west of the launch pad. Got a great view out the windows. Earlier we saw a picture of the crew signing their names on the booster that has flown to space a couple of times, and that's an example of reusability of the Falcon 9. And we've talked reusability several times in the webcast, and our boss Elon Musk, he's made it clear for years and years, the holy grail of space travel, what opens up space for humanity to become a spacefaring civilization, is reusability. Without it, spaceflight is just not affordable. And I think, as we mentioned earlier, if you threw the airplane away after every flight, no one would be flying anywhere. So each step in SpaceX's history has been focusing on incorporating reusability step by step into our designs. First with Falcon 1, people may not remember, we did want to try to get the Falcon 1 first stages back so that we could look at them, not fly them again. We rolled that into Falcon 9, into Dragon, and now as we're going forward, even Starship program where everything there is reusable. So that's the holy grail. We've been attacking it a piece at a time. We're almost there in today's flight. We're reflying both Dragon and the Falcon 9 first stage.
Yeah, the Inspiration 4 mission will launch today on SpaceX's proven and reliable Falcon 9 rocket, as John just mentioned. The booster that's flying today previously supported the GPS 3-4 mission for our Space Force customer in November 2020, as well as the GPS 3-5 launch in June of earlier this year. To date, SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket has completed 138 total launches, with over half of those on reflown rockets. As for the Dragon spacecraft flying today, as I've mentioned before, it previously flew on the NASA Crew 1 mission in November of 2020. And overall, Dragon spacecrafts have completed 27 missions, including 25 visits to the International Space Station, 10 of those visits on reflown Dragons. So reusability,
Dragon SpaceX, we have a good side hatch leak check.
And copy that, SpaceX. Good side hatch leak check.
All right, that is great news. That was just confirmation that the leak check that they performed on the side hatch, everything is good. So that side hatch will remain closed until those 4 individuals splash down back on Earth in 3 days after orbiting for that duration.
Yeah, it is important, again, that we do perform that leak check, because we want to make sure that in the vacuum of space, the habitat inside of the capsule can withstand that pressure and make sure that again, the environment that the astronauts are in are hospitable. So that is, again, great news that we are continuing to march towards T0 on time. Everything seems to be going great so far. Kate, I do want to talk more about reusability. It is astounding that over half of our rockets are flown on reflown missions. I think one of the things is to refly rockets, you got to land them. And that, honestly, is my personal favorite. Seeing the booster come back, landing on land, landing on the drone ship, it is quite a feat. And for those that have seen the webcast, you can see the rocket on screen right now. It doesn't quite do it justice. These are massive, massive vehicles.
Yeah, they really are. That's a great point. And something that I think kind of plays with our perception of the scale of things, especially is when we see the rockets landing on the drone ships out in the ocean, because the ocean is big, right? This drone ship looks small, but realistically, the drone ship is the size of a football field. And one of my absolute favorite memories that I've had in the 7 years that I've been at SpaceX, I actually was hosting the webcast when we successfully landed on the drone ship for the first time. So for anybody that might remember those days, there were a few unsuccessful landings on the drone ship where we learned a lot and eventually led to the first successful one. And that moment is seared in my memory, and the crowd just went absolutely wild. I mean, we've had a few events where the crowd has gone absolutely wild in this building for the historic moments that we made, but that one in particular with the drone ship landing for the first time is one of my top 3 favorite memories.
Yeah, that is pretty incredible, and it's what's gotten us here today. With the Falcon and Dragon system, we've proven you can build a reliable, reusable launch system for a fraction of historical cost. Our next step is to scale that up, basically build the same kind of system, but capable of taking a lot more people to the moon, Mars, and beyond. And that is what we're doing at our Starbase location in Texas with Starship.
Yeah, it's a super exciting area down there. Starship is a fully reusable transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo to Earth orbit, the moon, Mars, and beyond. You can see it there on your photo. That was the first time that we stacked the Starship booster with the Starship flight vehicle and the grid fins that you see there. I can't possibly describe the scale. You know, we were just talking about, right, drone ship landings. Oh, everything seems so small. I mean, just multiply that feeling times 100 when you envision Starship. The first time I saw it with my own eyes, I wept with joy. It's just an incredible monster of a vehicle, and there's a view of that stacking next to what is essentially a fixed service structure there. And yeah, so it's super exciting to follow along with all the advancements. Everybody knows that it changes not on a monthly, not on a weekly, but a daily basis there in Starbase, Texas.
Yeah, and what I love that Starship is doing is they're very manufacturing and production focused, and that is very key for us to continue to fly and reuse these vehicles and learn as much as possible. But we also need to build them in the first place. And the faster that we can build, the more that we can learn about designing it for manufacturability, designing it for that reusability. And again, we've done so much of that with Falcon and Dragon, and now taking that to Starship and using all that knowledge and just constantly improving our manufacturing and production of these vehicles.
Absolutely. There's the innovation there, regardless of success or failure. It is constant because we're learning just every second that we continue to build down there.
Yeah, super excited to see what Starship has for us in the future. But we are marching towards 1 hour and 35 minutes until liftoff. Let's talk a little bit more about the mission today. So the crew is not going to the International Space Station. They will be lifting off from pad 39A, spending about 3 days in orbit at a flight apogee of 575 kilometers. Here is an animation of where the crew will be at altitude-wise. They're going to be higher than the International Space Station, higher than the Hubble telescope, honestly higher than any humans other than those that went to the moon.
Yeah, and you see that it's a little bit further out than the International Space Station. It will take a couple burns, about 45 minutes apart, for us to raise to that cruising orbit. And just something unique to that, if you followed along with our crew missions, there are multiple transfer burns that get us to the International Space Station. It's extremely precise maneuvering that needs to happen in order to dock with the International Space Station. As a reminder, these vehicles are going at 17,500 miles per hour. We don't need to do that for this mission. So we just need a couple burns to get us to that very far out orbit of 575 kilometers.
One thing we ought to alert folks is they watch the ascent and we see the second stage. We typically put up the velocity and the altitude of each of the vehicles. The Falcon 9 will put Dragon into